Do you read me?
Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Com Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me? Over.
Pacho, this is Com Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Com Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. I say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah! Get some. Hurrah! What's going on, everybody? Another awesome week down, and here we are at the field op. But before we get started, what I want to say is that, hey, here in the field op, we respect freedom of speech. It's what I served for over 21 years in my beloved Marine Corps. And, sometimes our thoughts and opinions are not going to align. And just like I said, freedom of speech and freedom of choice, you can swipe left and skip on to something else. But if you like what you hear and you want to hear me, running my soups coolers and bump my gums for a couple of minutes, then stick around. But also don't forget to like and subscribe and pass the show around like a joint at a party. Get some, right? But we don't do that in the military, right? Anyways, hey, today's going to be a good show. I'd like to continue the talk that I had when Chief Aaron Seibert was kind of jumped in on the show a little bit late because of the simple fact that my man is in the Ukraine doing his thing with his family, and he moved over there and kind of traveling back and forth. We're going to talk about wellness and well-being and mental health and all that good stuff, which I kind of started my own, started talking about those things, and he jumped in late. To talk, give us just a small glimpse of what is going on over there. He's doing well. I stay in comms. Myself and our show director, we stay in comms with him quite often. He's doing well. He's safe. He's in Poland. So, and as a matter of fact, his podcast is it's up and running. So make sure you check out Combat Vet Vision right here on SitchRadio.com and all your other streaming platforms, along with this one. So, but anyways. It's all good stuff. So let's dive into what we were talking about before we get into that. And a lot of us, we do our thing. We're hard chargers. We're bark woof woof, like we used to say in the Marine Corps, or we're just an assault soldier, whatever. But so this week, so I'm in transition now back in the U.S. I was doing this assignment in Qatar. Just when I talked with government contract with my buddy Dan. When we had him on the show. So I'm now back in the U.S. So I'm trying to set up all the logistics stuff that goes on with moving on to a new duty station, because basically that's what I did. I PCS from overseas. Shout out to my awesome other half who's still over there working. So I'm doing this thing here in Florida. So one of the things that a lot of us do is that, hey, we transfer, we do the medical piece. If you're TRICARE Prime, just like I am, or if you just PCS to a new duty station, you want to take care of all your medical. And man, it was kind of a bit of a wake-up call, because as I'm doing my medical, I had some aches and pains, some shit going wrong with me. And I swear to God, I walked in fucking empty-handed, and I walked out with 2 paper bags just full of meds, man, like freaking Skittles. I was like, holy shit, is this the sign of the times? So it just comes to show you that after some time, even Superman has to take some type of medicines or something. So I just kind of chuckled. I was like, man, is this what my former father-in-law used to talk about? Because he used to tell me, hey, Frank, one of these days, you too are gonna get old. God damn it, Joe Royce, may he rest in peace. Anyway, so that was kind of like my wake-up call. Like, God damn it, I got to take all these Skittles, all these meds, and a little bit of a cocktail here, a cocktail there for, my shoulder that pops, my knees, my neck, my back, my neck and my back. So, I just kind of chuckled to myself. So, but it's bound to happen, because a lot of us, we, for whatever reason, we beat up our bodies. The government does take its pound of flesh out of us. And those of us who we always want to do a good job. Not take credit from anybody who, just the bare minimum. Hey, if you do I've realized as a civilian, even the bare minimum is it's okay. You meet standards, right? That's what my buddy Daniel used to says right now, as we do this government contracting. So even if you have a Marine or a shipmate or whatever that just meets the standard, hey, they're meeting the standards. They don't have to go above and beyond. So, but those of us who go above and beyond, super motivated, all that good stuff, we feel it later on. I mean, I do OSHA for a living, safety, and we talk about cumulative trauma. So over that, and that means just trauma over years, beating up your body, jumping out of vehicles, carrying rucksacks, going on 25-mile hikes, all that stuff. All that shit is going to catch up with it, and some of us heal better than others. But I know all that stuff has caught up with me. So, and, luckily, I've had good people who in my life or that in my network that said, hey, make sure you get paid for this, make sure you get your VA claims and so on and so forth. Just like you heard Jane Babcock talk about the show, I'm sorry, how to submit claims and under extenuating circumstances or, things that you were diagnosed for while in the service. So, I'm getting taken care of all those things, but all that stuff is going to catch up with you is basically what I'm trying to say. So, keep that in mind when you're doing. I mean, if your job requires it, it is what it is. But just make sure you document everything as we're going. But yeah, I just wanted to share that little piece of it, that little anecdote about I go to sick call just for a regular checkup, and hey, I need maybe a little bit of meds here, for my shoulder, my my knee, this and that, and I just walk out with 2 full bags of meds, and I'm like, God damn. So, but kind of circling back to what we're talking about mental health and mental well-being. It's it's important. I was saying that 3 things that, and you can pretty much put this apply this to anything in life that are showstoppers or how we just don't do things or talk ourselves out of things. So that, and this coming from Dr. Joe Dispenza. I follow this individual. I read his books. I've gone to some of his seminars. But I mean, the body, the environment, and time. What do I mean? What do I mean by that? Well, the body, I don't feel good. This ache and pain, this and that. I don't want to do. I don't feel like it. We talk about feelings. I don't feel like it. Or the environment. All because I was in combat, or because this thing happened to me. So a while back, and the environment and oh shit, I just lost my train of thought. So the body, the environment, and time. I just don't have time. But while we say that, we're on our phones, because Facebook, Instagram, and not to say social media is bad for you, but it's brain candy. Basically, it could be a distraction. You could use it as a tool to learn things, or you can use it as a tool to just kind of let time goes by, and that's fine and dandy. If you're gonna be doing that, make sure you're downloading and listening to the Field Up, get some Ura. But it's so we use these things as an excuse. The body, the environment, and time as and you could pretty much say that for anything, and that's how we limit ourselves and put ourselves in these own mind cages as to why we can't do things or accomplish things or accomplish our own best potential. So, I was telling you that I do suffer from PTSD. It's something that I have my good days, I have my bad days, and I struggle with it. So, as I was mentioning, during my previous podcast in 2019, I mean, just things were catching up with me. So I used to, because we ruminate, and a lot of us service members who have, who has PTSD, we ruminate. I mean, we make these awesome movies in our head. It's kind of like the joke of the guy who says, "Oh, I'm gonna go borrow my neighbor's lawnmower," and you're walking over there. Well, what if he says no? What if he, says, "Hey, you owe me the $5 from last week," whatever. We're ruminating. We're creating this movie, and we're getting so hyped up and intense about it that by the time the dude, goes, knocks on the guy's door and just say, "You know what? Keep your fucking lawnmower," basically. So, we ruminate a lot, and that's one of the things I used to dread as I was sitting in my vehicle commuting on my way to work in San Diego. I would just make these movies and just things and just crisis or ruminate about, when I was in Iraq and how this thing happened and I could have done better, and just anything else that we can just go on a rabbit hole. Shit, I was there, I did it. So my wife or my daughter, would say, hey, why don't you download something? Why don't you listen to a podcast? Or why don't you just listen to something to take your mind off? And I just happened to find this dude, Dr. Joe Dispenza. And again, I'm not recommending that. I'm not, all over the dude saying, hey, you should listen to him. But I think what he said to me resonated. So I heard this video in my car. I didn't watch it, but I heard it, and it was 17 minutes. And I listened to that video in my commute 3 times. And just the things that he said, we ruminate the things, how we just make these movies in our heads, how we just play this movie back and forth, and we just stay stuck in that loop, in that toxic loop in our heads, and how we repeat things. And and that's what a lot of us do. Believe me, I've been part of many groups, different groups, and I get it that a lot of us, we have our own way of coping with things, or maybe we haven't gotten to that place where we sought out help from the VA, from military one source, or while we're still in, from mental health, and we're still battling with our own demons. I totally get that, but we just can't stay in that never-ending cycle, because something's going to give, and your body will let you know, or your mind is going to break, get you to a crisis, and then that's when things go really awry, and basically we just end up in the hospital, or God forbid, some of us take that, we take that next step, which basically we end up committing suicide, and that's just uncalled for. So, but anyways, I played this video and it resonated so well with me, and I give it a try. I was like, well, you know what else do I have to do? I'm taking these meds well, shit, I'm like a zombie, when I'm not taking them, or when I'm taking them, I'm a zombie, or they're these, or they make me feel this way or that way and this and that. I'm like, well, shit, I got to do something. What else do I got to lose? So, one of the things that he talked about is meditation. And believe me, I was one of the first, back then I would tell you straight up to go pound sand. Like, man, I'm not going to do that hippie shit. That stuff doesn't work. It's not for me. Maybe for somebody, that is going to rub their earlobes and say unsa and whatever. But, I went in with an open mind. I mean, like, shit, what else can I do? What else do I have to lose? Nothing. Right. So, but I could gain a lot. So I went, with an open concept and with an open mind, and I started doing a little bit of research about, meditation. What are the benefits? What's the whole point? And it's not the fact that a lot of people tend to think that you're going to be, crossing your legs in this, in what they call the lotus position, that you're going to be floating, and like you see some gurus on TV, that type of stuff, or some dude in some cave that's been there for since 1775. Whatever. No, it's not like that. It's basically, it helps you come back into the moment. What people say mindful. What does that mean? Is that being mindful is not being engaged in tomorrow, because the future, nothing is promised. The only things that's promised is death and taxes. I mean, that's about it. So, hey, shout out to Scott. Hey, thanks for supporting the show, brother. And we definitely gotta bring you back on the show. But when we're anxious, we're thinking about the future. We're like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I can't take this anymore. I'm low on money, whatever. My benefits, I'm about to fall off. Or we're in the past. We think about the buddies that we lost in war. The trauma that we suffered in the past, or we just wish things to be back. How it was, way back when. So. We're robbing ourselves out of our own, time and moment. And just like I said earlier, the difference between us and animals is that we have this incredible machine in our heads that is our brain. This, it's this beautiful machine that can accomplish pretty much anything and everything. And we're so good at being either in the future or in the past, but it's so difficult for us to be here in the moment. Whereas an animal, well, shit, there's a gazelle. She's eating, it's eating grass, having a good time. Hey, I'm just gazelle, doing my gazelle thing. Lion comes around. Oh my God, time to boogie. Boom, they book, they flee, they, the dangerous moment is gone. They go back to eating grass again, not thinking about the past because the danger's gone. Same thing with us. It's just we're so focused on one of those two things that being in the moment, we rob ourselves out of it, especially those of us who have had some type of trauma in our lives that later it's in that and that we're struggling with, or whatever the case may be. So being meditation helps you come back into the moment. And it's not a lot of us, well, I can't concentrate, I can't meditate, that's horseshit, this and that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not about touching your earlobes and saying umsa, although there are practices that you say a word, a mantra, whatever, but it doesn't have to be that. It just, even 1 minute, it's already been scientifically proven that 1 minute of meditation can help extend your telomeres. Now, your telomeres are just, I'm kind of giving you a little bit of deeper insight. Your telomeres are these little things inside your DNA and your set within your cells. They kind of look like X's. And as we get older, we stop producing obviously collagen, and that's why we, our faces get saggy. All these things. Basically, our body starts, kind of, for all intents and purposes, deteriorating. Telomeres, they say, is the key to a long life, to immortality, is what they say. Now, it's already been proven that through meditation, you can improve or lessen the age effect slightly. I'm not saying that if you start meditating, well, you're gonna be like Benjamin Buttons, Brad Pitt in that movie, that my dude like reversed back to a baby and shit. I'm not saying that, but it does it's already been proven that it does slow down the process, and it can have great benefits. It helps you with your anxiety, it helps you with the depression, and it helps with hell, it helps to lose weight. I mean, there's so many benefits that have already been proven, and a lot of that the VA has already taken those steps and incorporated meditation classes as part of the therapeutic process, which I've been a part of. When I was there in California at the Loma Linda Center, they have an outreach clinic in the Temecula area. So shout out to all my SoCal peeps over there at the Warrior Bill Foundation and the members over there. But at that clinic, I was attending some meditation classes during the week, and it's great. And it all depends on the individual. Whoever's, if it's one of those meditations where somebody's narrating or kind of talking you through it, it all depends on the person. So again, you just gotta find the right therapy that is good for you. Just like I talked about meds, especially for mental health, it's not a marriage. It's all about trial and error and finding that right combination or that right meditation that works for you. For me, I prefer to have a female voice, kind of softer, with a British accent. I don't know what it is about the Brits, but they got it going on for me. So when I pop in, some type of meditation, and I YouTube something to listen to, that's kind of my go-to. I do use an app. It's called Calm. Again, I'm not advertising for them. I'm just giving, this show is about sharing tools and all good stuff about the different things about mental health. I use Calm. Again, there's a lady there, Tamara Levitt. She's one of the great narrators on that, and there's some great going to sleep, waking up. So I tend to meditate first thing as I get up. It's been said that the best time to meditate in the mornings is around 4:00 in the morning. That's because your brain is still on gamma brain waves. Those are the most calm, and basically that's when you could go in there and kind of rewrite the program. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Okay, so, and that's I meditate, and I just follow what the instructions. I focus on my breathing, and that's all meditation is, folks. Is just concentrating on your breathing. Yes, your mind is going to wander, and you're going to start thinking about all kinds of weird and random stuff. It happens. That's why there's another book called The Monkey Mind, and basically what that means is that your mind is like a monkey. It jumps from one thought to another. So the monkey's jumping from one branch to another. As long as you go ahead and you bring your mind back, you bring that monkey back to sit down. Don't spank the monkey. Ha. But go ahead and you bring the mind back to homeostasis, to that. Hey, you're gonna sit down here. It's only 10 minutes. We're gonna, focus on breath, but don't beat yourself up about it. Like, oh shit, why can't I concentrate? Why can I be floating in the air? Don't do that. Just if you have a thought, acknowledge it. Yep, I'm thinking about this. That's okay. Let's focus on the breathing. And basically just breathe in, breathe out, or count. You breathe in, breathe out. That's one. Breathe in, breathe out. That's two. And until you get to 10, and then you start lower again. If you lose count or your thought goes somewhere else, and you bring in the process, and it'll have great benefits. Again, I do some before as soon as I wake up. Boom, I do my daily calm, 10 minutes. I go to sleep. Right before I go to sleep, I kind of have a routine. As I was going through an intensive outpatient program, one of the things that they talked about is sleep therapy, and sleep is really really important. What do I say that? Because up until the 2010s, basically up until very recent, no research, very little research have been done on sleep and what are its benefits. And now it's been proven that basically, and just like it happened to myself when I had that breakdown and I was going through intensive outpatient program, one of the things that we used to do in there is basically sleep therapy, and basically they focus on your sleep and to ensure that you're getting between your 7 and 8 hours of sleep. Anything above that is too much technically. It's what, again, going through these classes is what I found out. But basically it's your sleep. Now if you're having issues with sleeping, obviously I would recommend that you hit up your resources, the VA, the Naval Hospital, or your medical clinic if you're still on active duty, whatever the case, and start working on that. And yes, they may prescribe some meds, just like I've said before. I'm not a doctor. However, it's not a marriage. Meds. The thing with meds, everybody, is that we're having a crisis again, because I've been at the receiving end of this. If you're having a crisis, you can't sleep, or you're just too anxious, or you're too depressed, your nerves and your feelings are raw. They're just so raw that any little thing and everything is basically gonna hit you like a ton of bricks, right? So by taking these meds, all that does is just kind of like take the edge of those thoughts, feelings, and all those things, just takes the edge off, so you can go ahead and start and be able to process those things, and start working the system, working your therapies, your meditations, all those things, because you got to do the work in order to get better. So you gotta. That's the purpose of meds. And then once you start processing and working through those things, then you can work with your caregiver and your provider to, hey, maybe I don't need. Can we start toning down the dosage or whatever? Maybe in a better path to get me off of these meds. Whatever, or some of us may, we're, maybe on a long-term schedule that, whenever you get to that better place, then your medical provider can say, hey, you know what, maybe we can start weaning you off, and because you're doing, we're seeing that you're managing a lot better. Now, I can't guarantee, again, because I myself have my hard days, my really, really hard days. But now I'm able to manage them just a little better, and I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to ask for help anymore. One of the things that a lot of us do as well, I know for me, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. It was, people say, "Are you okay?" And again, inside, I'm ripping at the seams, but I would say, "Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay." But we're not. Now no is okay. I'm able to say, when my wife or my kids ask, hey, are you good? I say, no, I'm not. And this is why. However, I'm working through it. And they'll say, do you need, is there anything we need? And I'm able to express and talk to them, because we're just afraid of sharing with everybody, because one, we don't want to be judged, like, oh shit, what kind of crazy ass thoughts are you having? Again, we don't want to be judged, or we think we're protecting them from the things that we're gonna say to them. And I've learned I've learned that they want to be involved, they want to be clued in, because again, I know for my kids, and I know I had my daughter here in the show, and I'm gonna have my son here as well. Um, is that they only knew it's like a third. They're from the outside looking in. They notice, oh man, this person, this guy's he's always sad, or why is he always withdrawn, in the patio, or why is he drinking by himself? And that's all they think. They're not necessarily blaming themselves. Again, because I've asked my kids this, but they want to know, and they want to be clued in, and it's taken me years that for me to basically be able to share with them and say, hey, here's what I'm going. This is what I went through. These are the things that kind of trigger me. Even to this day, and they know these things. So, and you know what? They say, wow, we didn't know it was like that. Always, we just thought that that you were this way just because. And it's so they all I'm saying, people, is that your family wants to be clued in, and they want to support you, for most of the time. Now, if you're in a relationship where somebody, said, well, you're fucking crazy, or whatever, then I would say, seek seek guidance on that aspect, and find a better support system. And I'll just leave it as that. So, but Scott right here just made a really good point. I mean, sleep hygiene is vital to balancing your brain chemistry. That is 100% true. It is. So most therapies, and if you go to the VA, again, I'm using mention the VA and medical, and because those are things that and TRICARE, because that's the system that I use. But everybody's going to ask, hey, how are you sleeping? And if you're sleeping bad, then they try to tune that up for you, and then from there they move on to other areas and such. But it all comes back, everybody, onto doing the hard work. So that's pretty much what how I was during that time frame. I started. Now I meditate religiously. I don't skip a day. I don't, because now I feel like, oh shit, I didn't do my meditations. So again, there are those days that life gets in the way. You have to wake up early and do things. That's fine, not a problem. But you can catch yourself on the back end. It's all, and that's the other thing about meditation, is that it's all about forgiveness and taking care of you. Because first and foremost, you have to take care of yourselves, folks. It's not being selfish. It's not being, oh, well, you think about yourself. How can you, I ask you this: how can you take care of anybody else if you're not taking care of you? You know what I mean? So, that's something for you to think about after the show. And it's not being greedy. It's not being selfish. And another thing is forgiving yourself for whatever things that you think that you've done, and even forgiving others is another thing. And I'm not saying, when you say, hey, I forgive this person, again, because we play that movie in our heads. Maybe you loan somebody money or whatever, you got into an argument. Oh man, I'm gonna kill that motherfucker, blah blah blah, whatever. I'm gonna turn into Rambo. No, but it's forgiving them and saying, hey, you know what? I forgive this person. You're not necessarily you're not letting them off the hook. They still did wrong to you, but you're forgiving them for you. Because if you don't forgive them, you're just gonna play that movie in your head, and all that is, it's affecting you too. That's toxic, chemicals, because your brain is going to create adrenaline. Again, those of us who've been in combat, we wanted that fix. We want those things to basically, we long. I know for me, when I got back, I wanted that rush, which however else I could get it. So I was riding my motorcycle way too fast on the freeway. I would just, anything and everything that I could do to kind of have that little woo, I feel alive again feeling when we're deployed in Iraq, or any austere environment. We come back, and that's why a lot of us get into trouble or end up killing ourselves on the San Diego freeway. I mean, as a motorcycle safety coach, I mean, shit, we used to get those stats every other week on Marines that used to kill themselves on motorcycles, because again, we want that adrenaline rush. But believe it or not, constantly chasing that high, and your body and mind being on, going at 100 million miles an hour, at some point, just think of this. It's like driving a stick shift car, if you know how to drive stick shift, or driving an automatic car all the way down in the first gear, and then punching the accelerator. Wow! Try that that engine is not going to last. It's bound to break, and your body's going to check you, and your mind is going to check you, say, hey, motherfucker, hey, you know what, we're going to put our body's going to go into shock, and something bad is going to happen, so we're just going to eject right here and pump your brakes right quick, and bam, your body's going to let you know, or your mind. And at that point in time, those are the most drastic measure, at a drastic point where you're going to have to do something about it. So instead of waiting that, until your body or your mind check you, why not start right now? Give it a little try. There's plenty of things that you can Google on YouTube, and even on YouTube, meditations, 1 minute, just 1 minute, 1 minute. And there's a lot of apps out there that do 1 minute of just focusing on your breathing. Hell, my smartwatch right here, you can set it for 1 minute, just and it'll vibrate after a minute, letting you know, hey, it's over. So just all those good things that are better for you, because again, you're constantly living with that adrenaline, all those things. That's how and again, you could be genetically prone to have many illnesses because of your parents, this and whatever have you. You were born with those genetic traits, but it's what you do. And again, I've learned this through my years now of doing my own research for me, but it's up to you to take, not to trigger those things. And by us, living that toxic lifestyle and not taking care of our well-being, it's just gonna, your body cannot live like that. And that's how we trigger, those cancers, those lesions, internal, acid reflux on our stomach, and just an array of a bunch of things. So you got to take care of you first and foremost. And just again, thank you, Scott, for that awesome tidbit right there. There's forgiveness has a tremendous power, and yeah, it can be difficult to give forgiveness, again, for you, but the benefits of it are great. The moment I started to learn how to love myself, I looked at myself in the mirror one day. This is around 2019. I was 20 pounds overweight. I was just, you could say I was a food blister, whatever, bag nasty gets up. But, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I love you. I forgive you. I'm going to start to, the one person that's been around, next to me for the last 40 plus years is the one person I treat like shit most of the time. And who is that? What's got two thumbs and you treat like shit? This dude. And it can't be that way, folks. You have to take care of you. When you start taking care better, you put yourself first, everybody else will reap the benefits. Your family, Yeah, I'm not a donut donkey, dick. Thank you, Scott. But, the moment you start treating yourself better, everybody else will reap the benefits. Your wives, your girlfriends, boyfriends, your significant other, your kids, everybody else. And then, your young kids will see, wow, he's doing that, he's taking care of himself. I could do that. And you can set a good example. So, those are some of the things that I wanted to share with you and kind of close the loop a little bit on that talk. We'll keep going with this talk, and I'll pop in and out in between guests and just kind of share my thoughts and feelings, and as well as some funny shit that happens to me in the field when I was in the Marine Corps. But if you got any funny stories, go ahead and put them on our webpage. And hell, maybe you can be a guest on our show, and we can, we talk about one of those no shit, there I was stories for one episode. But I just want to go ahead and say, hey, if you're struggling with you're battling with depression or anxiety, and you don't think of who to reach out, reach out to me, DM me on my show, send me a direct message. I'll talk to you. If you're having thoughts of suicide or hurting yourself, at least give me like my buddy Aaron says, give me the opportunity to be your last conversation or that last text message, and let's talk about it and see what we can do together to get you in a better place. I'm back in the U.S. now, so hell, shit, if I have to fly to see you, I mean, fuck, I'll go ahead and do that for you. But your life matter. There's people that care about you. I care about you. I don't want you to be another statistic. out there about, I know the veteran, gave up because of PTSD and the demons that they were battling with. So, do us the favor. We love you. Your life matters. And I just want to say, hey, thanks so much, everybody. We'll go ahead and come back next week. But I think we're going to go ahead and index the show right here. So with that being said, everybody, hoorah, get some. I am out of here, everybody. Adios, muchachos.